Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Now I'm gonna explain how the marginal product and average product of labor change as the labor employed increases initially and eventually. So for that, first we need to know what is marginal product of labor change and what is average product of labor change. In economics, the marginal product of labor change, or MPL, is the change in output that results from employing an added unit of labor, or we can say that marginal product of labor is the extra units of output produced with increase in the amount of labor units. And for average product of labor change, average product of labor equals total output divided by the amount of labor employed. And the average product of labor is a common measure of labor productivity. And the APL curve, the average product of labor curve, is always shaped like an inverted U. And why is always shaped like an inverted U? Because of the diminishing marginal return. So now I'm gonna explain how the marginal product and average product of labor change as the labor employed increases initially and eventually. So initially, as the quantity of labor increases, the firm experiences increasing marginal returns, which means that the marginal product increases as more labor is employed. Increasing marginal returns occur because hiring additional workers allows the workers to specialize and become more productive. And eventually the firm will experience diminishing marginal returns, which means that the marginal product decreases as more labor is employed. Decreasing marginal returns occur because eventually the gains from specialization diminish, and because more and more workers are working with the same fixed amount of capital. The average product of labor follows the marginal product of labor. Initially, when the marginal product of labor is increasing, the average product also increases. As long as the marginal product of labor exceeds the average product of labor, the average product continues to increase. And eventually, when the marginal product is falling, it falls enough so that it is less than the average product. And here in this graph, we can see that when the marginal product of labor curve is going up, it is here the average product curve is also going up at the same time. And when the marginal product curve reaches at its high point, so it will start to decrease, and the average product curve is also start to decrease at the same time. And then these two curves will intersect with each other when at average product's high point. So this point is maximum average product, and in this point the average product curve is in its high point.
Hello everyone, my name is Mariam and I'm going to represent to you question number 2. The question states that what is the law of diminishing returns? Why does marginal product eventually diminish? Law of diminishing returns, or principle of diminishing marginal productivity, is an economic law stating that if one input in the production of a commodity is increased, while all other inputs are held fixed, a point will eventually be reached at which additions of the input yield progressively smaller or diminishing increases in output. For example, factory employees work to manufacture a product. As long as all other factors of production stay constant, at one point each supplementary worker generates less output than the other worker before him. Thus, each worker who follows provides smaller and smaller returns. If the factory continues to add new workers, it eventually becomes so cramped that additional workers hinder the efficiency of other employees, thereby decreasing the factory's production. As you can see in the graph, you have the y-axis as your total output and the x-axis as your total input. First, you're the most productive. Here your input leads productive returns. It pays to invest more time and effort until you reach the point of diminishing returns. The graph becomes almost constant. And Each added input leads to a decreasing rate of output. It's best to stop somewhere within this phase. But if you reach the point of maximum yield, you'll have a negative return or a negative slope. Never get here. Not only do you not get a return for your effort, you decrease the all output.
So coming to the next question, here the question recurs the explanation of the relationship between marginal product and average product. So a mathematical connection between average product and marginal product stating that the change in the average product depends on a comparison between the average product and marginal product. So firstly, marginal product is the increase in total product as a result of adding one more unit of input. And for average product is the total product or total output divided by the quantity of inputs used to produce that total. Secondly, marginal product increases with the amount of workers you have when making a product. And here, when marginal product is less than average product, the average product will start to decrease. Thirdly, marginal product will eventually start to experience diminishing returns, where the amount of products you will be able to produce will eventually go down so far that you won't be able to put out any more products. And when the marginal product is higher than average product, the average product will start to increase. So coming to the next point, marginal product is the change in total product divided by the change in quantity of resources or inputs. And average product is the total product divided by the quantity of economic resources or inputs. Furthermore, firms often want to know what happens to productivity when just one incremental worker is added to the staffing role. And on the other hand, business use average productivity figures to gain a perspective on the performance of its workforce. Finally, the equation for marginal product of labor equals to change in output divided by change in labor input. And for the average product of labor change, it equals to output divided by labor or input. And then more importantly, we need to know that for each new worker you add to help make a product, the amount of products you can make will increase by a fair amount. But the amount of workers you hire, the amount of products will tend to get less and less. And then the firm's marginal and average productivity use the same figures, but the outcome is expressed differently.
For question number 6, the questions want us to find total output, marginal product of variable input, and average product of variable input. So, if quantity of variable input is 1, the total output and marginal product of variable input will be 50. What if the quantity of variable input is 2? For the total output will be 80. We got 80 from the previous of total output, which is 50 plus marginal product of variable input if quantity is 2, which is 30. So 50 plus 30 we get 80 for total output. And for the average product of variable input, we have to divide total output, which is 80, by quantity of variable output, which is 2. So 80 divided by 2, we get 40 for average product of variable input. And how to find marginal product of variable input? We can use the quantity of variable input is 3. All we have to do is subtract the total input, which is 90, with previous total output, which is 80. So 90 minus 80, we get 10. And you can repeat it for the rest. Next question. Next question is for the product functions. Key is 6L power by 2 minus L power by 3. Fill in the following table and state how much the firm should produce so that we can see there is table consisting of L, key, average product, and marginal product. How to find key? We can use the functions that have been given. If L is 1, we can put it in the function, so become 6 times 1 power by 2 minus 1 power by 3. So we get 5. And the same for the rest. For average product, you can divide key by L. So if key is 5 and L is 1, the answer will be 5. If the key is 16 and L is 2, the average product is 8. And marginal product, we can get from subtract the total product with the previous total product. If total product is 16 and the previous is 5, so the marginal product is 11. So average product is maximized when L is 3, marginal product is maximized when L is 6, and total product is maximized when L is 4. The last, average product is 0 when L is 6.
Question 8. A firm is required to produce 100 units of output using quantities of lab and capital L and K equal 7 and 6. For each of the following producing functions, state whether it's possible to produce the required output with the given input combination. If it's possible, state whether the input combination is technically efficient or inefficient. So we have three statements. Statement A. Q equals 7L plus 8K. The input combination gives 7 multiplied 7 plus 8 multiplied 6 equal 97. So the statement is infeasible because we need to produce 100. Statement B. Q equal 20 square 7 multiplied 6 and it is equal 130. So it is feasible but ineffective because we need to produce 100. Statement C. Q equal to multiply KL plus L plus 1. Q equal 2 multiply 7 multiply 6 plus 7 plus 1 and it's equal 100. So this statement is producing 100. 100 is feasible and efficiency.